Thank you. I don't know about y'all, but right at the first of the year, I opened up the newspaper, and I felt like had a gut punch. The headline was talking about the VFW bringing in bingo under the guise of charitable gaming to increase their giving to charity. And I think there's a little more behind that than what they're letting on. Because they were saying when we was having the alcohol campaign, well, we need alcohol so we can stay in business. And now in a way they're saying, well, we need to bring in bingo so we can give more to charity. Kind of think there's a little more going on out there than what we know.
Well, you know, you got to be drunk to play bingo.
Yeah. And even though the Bible doesn't have a strict prohibition on drinking alcohol or gambling or playing bingo, it still addresses those issues. There's over 600 references to alcohol throughout the Bible. Some are good, some are bad. The majority of them, I think, are bad. And then gambling is, in the Bible, it's not mentioned specifically, but they used to do what they call casting of lots. Now, some of the casting of lots that they did were good because they used it to, like when they went into the Holy Land the first time, into the Promised Land, they cast lots to divide the land up between all the different tribes. Or when it came time for the scapegoat, they would cast lots to determine which of the goat was to be the scapegoat, the one that was sent out of the camp that carried all the sins of the nation of Israel away from the camp. Used it to help them make other decisions, such as how the priest should go, what direction the priest should take, or what course of action, like if they were going into getting ready to possibly go to battle, should they go to battle, or something, or should they stay out of battle, determining what to do with that. And I've only seen, I'm sure there's more, but there's only a couple of references where it's kind of addressing gambling, where it talks about, where it's basically a gambling issue. And it's the same reference, it refers to the same event. And that's at the crucifixion of Jesus. In John we're told that they took his clothes and divided them up among the 4 guards that were at the foot of the cross. However, there was one piece of his clothing that they did not tear up. It was his coat. Supposedly it was all one single piece. There were not any seams in it, like we have in our coats today. It is one solid piece of cloth. And they decided that much rather than instead of tearing that into 4 different pieces, they would cast lots, gamble it off to whoever had the winning. I don't know what they decided, but just, you know, how they decided which one was the winner of it, doesn't say. But they did that in front of Jesus, right there at the foot of the cross. Now, if he was conscious during that time, he probably saw him doing it. And the verse on that is found in Luke chapter 3, or 23, verse 34. Then said Jesus, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And they parted his raiment and cast lots. Now, some commentaries I've read, the whole time from the time they started putting him on the cross to when it was raised up, he was saying, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And yes, and the point of it is, Jesus was still forgiving them even when he was being crucified. And that's something we need to do. Yeah, I'm preaching against gambling and everything, but we need to forgive. We need to let people know how gambling is wrong, that it can affect households. It will become an addiction for people. It will harm families and we've got all sorts of incidences all around the world, all around the country, of how people become addicted to gambling in one form or another, and their families have wound up being destroyed and majorly hurt. Dad's related to me when he was up in Brandenburg in Meade County. The fire departments used to hold bingo games to raise money for safety equipment. You know, for their new turnout gear or new equipment or new fire trucks and whatever, you know. And there was one family, they got called down to the bank. And they were talking to the banker, and they had, you know, they knew the banker and everything, and just talking back and forth a little bit about different things. And then the banker asked them where their house payment was. The guy said, it's been paid. My house is almost paid off. Now this guy was getting ready to retire and enjoy retirement. But from that conversation, he came to find out his wife had been taking checks out of the back of the checkbook and writing checks and gambling, playing bingo and gambling instead of paying the bills. They were on the verge of losing their house. And here they were, close to retirement, getting ready to retire and enjoy their golden years, so-called golden years. But instead of that happening, this guy had to postpone his retirement and continue to work to pay off his house that he thought was already paid off because of an addiction, because of gambling. And we hope that that doesn't happen here in Providence, but it has been greatly increased. The chances of that happening have greatly increased with them bringing in bingo and other games called pull tabs. And it's a shame. And now here we are, here the city of Providence is. The new mayor fired the chief of police. Don't know the reasons, other than what was in the paper. But the mayor is acting chief of police for the time being until a new one is hired. The police department reports to him. Then in another article where they were discussing the alcohol ordinance in the city council, the new city council member is already asking for Sunday sales of alcohol. As it stands right now, they are not allowed to sell on Sundays. until the ABC officer of the city addresses it and says yes or no. And then, on top of that, bringing in charitable gaming. And we know how people are. They get upset because they lose or whatever. There's going to be more trouble outside, possibly, of people getting mad and starting fights. And supposedly, they won't sell alcohol when they're running bingo games once a week.
Thank you,
And that's what they say.
thank you.
And they won't be selling alcohol in the same room as the game is being played, and you can't bring alcohol into that room during the game. But somebody will find some way around that. Just human nature. Now, and we know that this is all going to lead to destructive lifestyles. People that have problems are going to have more problems financially, because they're usually the ones that are looking to get out. But yet, they're doing it under the guise of charitable gaming, of bringing in money to support charities that are needing money right now. And it's unfortunate that the ones that will come near going to play bingo are the ones that possibly receive assistance from those charities. So it's a vicious cycle. And all we can do is pray about it and in love talk to others about how this is going to affect people. Dad and I down at Paula's was talking to a person this last week about it and explaining to her how it was gambling and everything. And we weren't getting mad or yelling at them or anything, we were just saying this is the way we see it. And she was listening to us talking, and she said, yes, I can see I can see that. I can see how it can be looked that way. Now, whether or not she goes on and plays, I don't know. But at least we told her how it can be destructive to families. And now it's up to her whether or not she continues to go down and enjoy and play the game, or if she decides not to go and participate in that anymore. And that's the way we need to be. We need to be going about in full armor of God all the time, like I talked about last year, as well as being the watchman on the tower, on the hills and on the walls, and telling people, warning them of the dangers that are coming with these two items, and trying to show them, point them to Christ, saying, even when he was dying on the cross, he was an innocent man, but he was still saying, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And so, we need to be the same way, but we need to do it in a loving, kind way. And just explain to people how we see it and what it can mean to others. And don't try to convince them that what they're doing is wrong, but just say, hey, this is the way we view it. And so as we get ready to sing our invitation, I'll be down in front, hymn 183. And just, if you want to join our fellowship, I'll be down here waiting to receive you, or make a profession of faith, or come forward for membership, or if you just have a prayer need, I'll be here in front as we get ready to sing.